Hello, it's been like what, 11 days? I've been so ridiculously busy. I've put out a YouTube post, but it's really hard to tell if they ever actually reach the algorithm or not. So I thought I'd put a quick video out talking about a couple of the changes that's happened on Path of Exile 2 while I've been away, as well as just basically saying, hello, I still exist. I guess, I don't know. I've just been so ridiculously busy with uni. I haven't had a chance to make videos. I haven't had a chance to play, to be honest. I've logged in a little bit to have a quick look at patch 0.1.1c. So we'll quickly discuss that in this video. So what I've got here is essentially the forum page of Path of Exile 2, and these two top posts are what we're going to be taking a look at. These are the most recent posts from Path of Exile 2, and we haven't actually heard anything since this one, which was posted February 7th. So we've been a little bit quiet for almost a week now. I'm hoping we're going to get something very, very soon. We'll talk about this one very, very quickly. Essentially, the really cool thing is they have added respawn attempts, which they talked about, into the endgame pinnacle areas, which is really, really cool. It does tell you here it's based on the area difficulty. So the highest level of difficulty, I'm pretty sure, doesn't have respawns. Now, I've seen a little bit of confusion how this actually works. It has absolutely nothing to do with your portals you create going into the map. As far as I understand, you have an attempt to fight a boss. If you die, you just use up one of your respawns and the fight kind of resets. If you're in a party, I'm pretty sure it waits for the whole party to die before reviving you all as one. But I'm pretty sure that is one attempt. It's got nothing to do with the portals. You can go in with a full team and it's not going to use up all of your attempts in one go because you've got no portals left. So for those of you confused by that, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Some other really cool things we've had is basically just little icons on the map. And this is what I really, really want them to do. So for me personally, this is a really, really big one because when I was running like lots of breach maps, I would just try to get a whole sort of idea of the rough layout of the map. And I'd come across 1, 2 or 3 breach hands and I have no idea where they were anymore. I would used to screenshot them and put them all together, so I had like a full map somewhere just to have a look at. So for me, that's a really, really big change, and I really appreciate that. I have had a quick go in game to have a look at how it works, and it's really, really good. It's a really nice quality of life change. Otherwise, we've got a few other small changes. I've seen they've got something else here about minions now. I haven't actually tested this. I don't know how important it is, but with the revive change, so I'm just teleporting on you, I'm going to assume this isn't really that big of a deal. Honestly, I think minions just need the same treatment that players got right at the start of the game when they changed our size when we rolled down to 0, which I'm still really confused because 0 you'd assume is like basically a full iframe sort of thing. Well, not iframe, but no collision. But there is still collision with tiny, tiny gaps. But I thought that's what they should have done with minions. I'm surprised they haven't just done that, to be honest. Otherwise, we've got some bug fixes. We've got some other things to do with gamepads. I'm sure this is probably quite a nice quality of life for those of you playing on console. And then lastly, I want to talk about this post, which is their State of Early Access update. Essentially, they've said, since the game's launch, they've done 8 big patches, 31 hotfixes. They've added quality of life. They've improved the core experience, itemization improvements. They've fixed bad balancing. They've done all sorts of different things. And yes, they have. I'm not taking this away. But what I really want to talk about is this, because I was literally in the middle of working on a video when this came out, and then I just got too busy to actually make the video. So for me, it's really, really good that they're addressing this. The more that I played Path of Exile 2, the more that I thought, actually, there isn't anywhere near enough diversity in what you can build, especially not compared to Path of Exile 1. I think there's a few really odd choices they've done in Path of Exile 2. Like, for example, if we take a look at my Ranger, I really wanted to use Ice Shot, but I ended up leveling with Lightning Arrow. The only reason for that is because I didn't have access to Ice Shot right at the start of the game. It's really weird that these kind of skills are locked behind levels. I don't see why you can't have access to every skill in a game at level 1, and then obviously you can level them up to level 2, 3, 4, all the way to 20, like you can with any other regular gem. Supports, sure, if you want to have different levels of that, it's not really that big of a deal. I do think obviously some supports are a lot stronger, but until you get 4 or 5 sockets on a skill, you don't really get that big benefit from the higher tier supports. So I think it's a really weird system, and I think it'll be a lot better when we get more skills in the game. But at the moment, it doesn't really feel like there's that much diversity. It's great because they're acknowledging the same thing. Now, they've basically put it down to their biggest problems they're talking about here. They're basically saying there's some major balancing issues with many player skills, both too good and too bad. There's not enough character build options, which is exactly what I was talking about. And there's not enough build-defining uniques, which I completely agree with. I've already talked a little bit about the uniques in Path of Exile 2, but I just think a lot of them are really, really weak. And I don't understand why there's so many with negative effects. I'm pretty sure that was the case in Path of Exile 1 as well though, but I think it's more so in Path of Exile 2. honestly, I need to go back and replay Path of Exile 1. And actually, I was just looking at some footage because although I haven't actually had time to play or make videos, I haven't stopped binge watching Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1 content. And there was one league that I completely forgot about, Path of Exile 1, which is kind of like this tower defense. And I forgot how fun that was. And that alone is making me want to re-download Path of Exile 1 and give it another look. But I'll probably just play on standard league because I think the league's about to end, or it has ended, or I'm not really sure. But I'm thinking about touching Path of Exile 1 again for a little bit, as well as obviously Monster Hunter's coming out in like a week or 2 weeks or something, which I'm crazy excited about. So I'm desperately trying to get my uni work out of the way so I can get back on playing games and making videos. But yeah, it's really, really cool that yes, they are aware that perhaps they need to buff a lot of uniques. One of my biggest problems was when you get to endgame and you're killing these pinnacle bosses that, you know, you spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of exalts to give an attempt and you get a 1 exalt drop. Now I understand that, you know, you don't want every drop in the game to be, you know, worth a lot of money and really, really, really strong. But fighting the best bosses in the game and getting terrible drops, which by the way was a thing in Path of Exile 1 as well, I don't particularly enjoy that bit. Other things they've mentioned here is endgame progression balance is off. That's very vague. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that. Do they mean they don't want people to rush to T15s as quickly? Do they mean that T15s compared to T1s is not a big enough difference? Not sure what they exactly mean by that. And they've also not enough core things to find in endgame. I'm hoping they mean like mechanics. And another thing I was thinking about with Path of Exile 1 in mind is I remember doing a lot of Heist. And when Heist League came out, I don't know if I played during Heist League or if I just did Heist some other time. But I remember that league was really, really fun. It's just this whole other side part to Path of Exile 1 that we sort of have in Trial of Chaos and Trial of Sekimas. I would love more stuff like that. Heist in particular was really, really fun. I haven't really touched Expedition much in Path of Exile 2. It wasn't my favourite league in Path of Exile 1, and it's definitely my least favourite in Path of Exile 2. So I haven't ever fought Orloth. I've only done one of the actual logbooks. But it just takes so long to set it up and run it, and it's not as dopamine filled as running a map, seeing a breach hand, and then just exploding stuff everywhere. And really that's all we've been given here. We are kind of just waiting right now to see what happens. And then at the bottom here we've got something interesting which is leading to what's coming in 0.20. There are things we expect to improve in 0.2.0. In addition, we need to make sure 0.2.0 has a draw card that will bring back as many players as possible to test the changes that we are making. We don't have an exact timeline for 0.2.0, but our overall plan has been to release major content updates for Path of Exile 2 every few months, and we'll announce that as soon as we can. And that is sort of what I am waiting for at the moment. While I am a bit too busy, I am hoping I can get everything out of the way, so when 0.2.0 comes out, I am ready to, hopefully actually I want to stream. I would love to stream it. But at the same time, there are still a few issues that are burning me out a little bit from Path of Exile 2. I think almost certainly the trading is my biggest burnout. Having to be online all the time to sell items, and the fact that my items are just not selling anywhere near as much as they were anymore, despite me putting the prices even sometimes less than 50% of their worth according to apps like Exile Exchange. So for me, the trading is starting to really grind my progression and grind my interest in Path of Exile 2 down a little bit. That, and you know, I've finished the campaign 5 times. I'm halfway through on 5 other characters. I have a hardcore character, I have a solo cell-phone character. I have pretty much done what Path of Exile 2 has to offer right now. So this time for a break was actually perfect for me, but right now I'm just itching to see what they're going to release and what new content is. If it's a league, I am so down for that, but I feel like it's not going to be a league. So it's going to be really interesting to see if a new big update comes. How do we seamlessly integrate into that if it's not like a league? Obviously the Exalted Orb is not worth very much at the moment, so really you are just mainly interested in Divine Orbs in terms of trading. So that is making trading a little bit even more difficult, I would say. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get. I think a lot of people have said, based on GGG's normal timeline, we should be expecting 0.2.0 roughly by the end of February, which is exactly when Monster Hunter releases. So when that happens, I'm going to be absurdly busy. So until then, I will upload what I can, but I'm so busy with uni work, so I do apologize for that. Huge thank you to everybody though who has continued to support the channel. I can't believe that we are still getting over like 2,500 views a day. We are very close to 3,000 subscribers, so huge thank you to all of you. I really appreciate that. Anyway, with all that said, thank you for watching, and see you all again very very soon. Bye bye.